Welcome to our communal Seder from Congregation Sholom. We are going to begin by lighting the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של יום טוב. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Shalom, I am Cantor Marla Baragel, and I will be leading the Seder. And one of my favorite tunes, which summarizes all of the steps that you have in the Seder, and there are 15 of them, it goes like that. This, Kadesh Urechatz. Kadesh Urechatz, Karpas, Yachatz, Magid Rachza, Motzi Matzah, Maror Korech, Shulchan Orech, Tzafun Barech, Halel Nirtzah. We now continue with the first cup of wine, the blessing of the first cup of wine. We begin this service by sanctifying the name of God and proclaiming the holiness of this festival. With the blessing over wine, the Jew ushers in the Sabbath and all festivals. As we lift the cup of wine, symbol of joy, let us now welcome the festival of Passover. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Next step is the urchatz, washing the hands without a blessing. There's no blessing because it was an ancient custom in the East, especially among Jews, to wash the hands before eating. Part of the Seder is the karpas, eating of the green vegetable. The green vegetable is a symbol of springtime and of the miracle of nature's renewal. At this season, when Mother Earth arrays herself in fresh verdure, the human spirit rises and we renew our faith in a world where freedom and justice will prevail. The salt water into which the karpas is dipped to make it palatable has been interpreted as salty tears to remind us of the tears shed by the oppressed Israelites. We say together the blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adama. Amen. Next week, here comes one of everybody's favorite parts of the Seder, the 4 questions. First, I'm going to sing the Israeli tune, and then when I translate it into English, I'm going to sing it in a tune called the Lernen-Steiger. This was a tune when people were studying Torah, they would go back and forth and study. נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות, מכל הלילות, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה הזה כולו מצה. הלילה הזה כולו מצה. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שאר ירקות, שאר ירקות. הלילה הזה מרור, מרור. הלילה הזה מרור, מרור. שבכל הלילות אין אנו מטבילין אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה שתי פעמים. הלילה הזה שתי פעמים. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין יושבין ובין מסובין, בין יושבין ובין מסובין. הלילה הזה כולנו מסובין. הלילה הזה כולנו מסובין. And now here's the English translation according to this Lernen-Steiger. Why is this night different from all other nights of the year? On all other nights we may eat either leavened or unleavened bread, but on this night only unleavened bread. On all other nights we eat all kinds of herbs, but on this night we eat especially bitter herbs. On all other nights we need not even dip once, but on this night we dip twice. First we dip herbs into salt water, and next we dip bitter herbs into charoset. On all other nights we eat either sitting or reclining, but on this night we eat reclining. Before we read the Haggadah, which tells in detail the whole story, let me answer your questions one by one. We eat matzah because when our ancestors were told by Pharaoh that they could leave Egypt, they had no time to bake the bread with leavening, so they baked it without leaven. At the Seder, we eat bitter herbs to remind us of the bitterness our ancestors experienced when they were oppressed by the Egyptian taskmasters. 3, at the Seder, we dip food twice, the parsley in salt water, as we have already explained, and the bitter herbs in charoses, as we shall later explain. 4, as a sign of freedom, we lean to the left when we partake of wine and symbolic food. In antiquity, slaves are hurriedly standing or squatting on the ground, while royalty, nobility, and the wealthy in Egypt, Persia, Rome, and other empires dined on couches. To indicate that the ancient Israelites were now free, they too reclined while eating. And here is another one of my favorite songs. It's Avadim Hayinu. Once we were slaves of Pharaoh in Egypt, but now we are free people. Avadim hayinu, hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim And now we go to the 4 children, Arba'a Vanim. The Torah speaks of 4 types of children, one who is wise, one who is rebellious, one who is simple, and one who does not know how to ask. The wise child asks, what is the meaning of the laws, regulations, and ordinances which the Lord our God has commanded you? To him you shall explain all the laws of Passover, even to the last detail, that nothing may be eaten and no entertainment or revelry is to take place after the Afikomen. The rebellious child asks, what does this service mean to you? By using the expression to you, it is evident that the service has no significance for him. He has thus excluded himself from his people and denied God. Therefore, give him a caustic answer and say, it is because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt. For me, not for him. For had he been there in Egypt, he would not have deserved to be liberated. The simple child asks, what does this mean? Tell him, with a mighty hand and the Lord brought us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And finally, the 4th child who is the one who does not know how to ask. For him, begin by explaining, as we are told, you shall tell your son on that day, I do this because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt. Is another song. God's unfailing help has sustained our ancestors and us. For not only one enemy has risen up to destroy us, but in every generation do enemies rise up against us, seeking to destroy us. But the Holy One, blessed be He, delivers us from their hands. Vehi she'amda. Vehi she'amda, lavoteinu velanu. Vehi she'amda, lavoteinu velanu. Shelo echad bilvad, עמד עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור אומרים עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. A very, very interesting part of the Seder, which I did not know until I studied in cantorial school with my wonderful dean, Rabbi Morton Leifman. It says, let us analyze what Lavan, the Aramean, the Syrian, intended to do to Jacob our father. Whereas Pharaoh issued a decree against newborn males only, Lavan sought to annihilate Jacob and his entire family. For the biblical verse may be read, the Aramean sought to destroy my father. So what they are saying is that Lavan, or Laban, was worse, even worse than Pharaoh. And now we come to, again, a favorite part of everybody, the 10 plagues. Just want to say that the Midrash relates that when the Egyptians were drowning in the sea and the angels wanted to sing hallelujah, God rebuked them. How can you sing hallelujah when my children are drowning? And that is why we remove, for each plague, we remove, first recite them in Hebrew, and please repeat after me each plague in Hebrew, and then I will do it in English, and let's do the same thing. Dam, Tzfardea, Kinim, Arov, Tevel,
Dever,
Shechin,
Shaheen,
Barad,
Barad,
Arbe,
Arbeh,
Choshech,
Hoshek,
Makat Bechorot,
Makat Becharot,
Blood,
blood,
Frogs,
frogs,
Vermin,
vermin,
Wild Beasts,
wild beast,
Cattle Disease,
cattle disease,
Boils,
boils,
Hail,
hail,
Locusts,
locust,
Darkness,
darkness,
Smiting of the firstborn.
smiting of the firstborn.
Okay, I'll be editing.
Okay. Now comes, I would think, everybody's favorite song, which is Dayenu. Just a very short explanation is Dayenu means it would have been enough. So in other words, it would have been enough had God simply taken us out of Egypt. It would have been enough had God given us the Shabbat. It would have been enough if God had given us the Torah. Ilu hotzianu mimitzrayim, hotzianu mimitzrayim, dayenu. Everybody, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et ha-Shabbat, natan lanu et ha-Shabbat, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et ha-Torah, natan lanu et ha-Torah, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Okay, now we have an explanation of three things. First, the matzah, the paschal lamb, and the maror. And it says, Rabban Gamliel, grandson of the great sage Hillel, said, one who has not explained the following symbols of the Seder has not fulfilled the festival obligations. Pesach, matzah, umaror. What is the meaning of the paschal lamb which our ancestors used to eat at the time when the temple was still in existence? The paschal lamb is to remind us that the Holy One, praised be He, passed over the houses of our ancestors in Egypt. Matzah. What is the meaning of the matzah that we eat? The matzah is to remind us that before the dough which our ancestors prepared for bread had time to ferment, the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One, praised be He, revealed Himself to them and redeemed them. We read in the Bible, they baked matzah of the unleavened dough which they had brought out of Egypt, for it had not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not linger, nor had they prepared any food for the journey. Maror. The maror, what is the meaning of bitter herbs which we eat? The maror is to remind us that the Egyptians embittered the lives of our ancestors in Egypt, as the Bible explains. They made their lives bitter with hard labor, with mortar and brick, and with every kind of work in the field. All the labor which the Egyptians forced upon them was harsh. We now skip to the second cup of wine. Now, in the first cup of wine, I did the Shabbat blessing. And here I'm going to teach you and show you the nusach for the three festivals, or the Shalosh Regalim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. We now come to the rachatz, which is washing the hands before the meal, and this time with a blessing.
Cut.
So
Okay.
I'm going to need,
Because we're going to wash our hands in the
Hands.
kitchen.
Oh, we are. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Now we come to the motzi matzah. So a piece of the uppermost matzah and a piece of the broken middle matzah are distributed to each participant. After salting the two pieces, we recite the usual hamotzi and the special blessing for the matzah. Then eat both pieces of matzah while reclining to the left. Here comes the salt. Thank you. Okay, so together, blessing for the matzah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah. We now come to the maror. The bitter herbs of which we shall partake are a reminder of the bitterness the Israelites experienced in Egypt. The charoset into which the bitter herbs are dipped symbolizes the mortar and bricks with which our ancestors were forced to construct cities and treasure houses for Pharaoh. Life is bittersweet. The sweet and pleasant taste of the charoset impresses upon us that no matter how bitter and the dark the present appears, we should hopefully look forward to better days. Sweet are the uses of adversity. Since maror is a symbol of bondage, we do not recline while eating it. Together we say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror. Next is the korech, which is called the Hillel's sandwich. While the temple was still in existence, Hillel would eat together in a sandwich some matzah and maror to fulfill the biblical command, they shall eat it, the paschal lamb, together with the unleavened bread and bitter herbs. כן עשה הלל בזמן שבית המקדש היה קיים, היה כורך פסח מצה ומרור, ואוכל ביחד, לקיים מה שנאמר, על מצות ומרורים יאכלו. And now, everyone has been looking forward to, the Shulchan Orech, the dinner.